right, y'all. Grab yourself a cafecito. You're about halfway done. Let's just keep driving on. And let's learn about discussions. So as educators, we know there's value in having students have meaningful discourse in small groups. You can create parameters and then have the students really dig in and use some critical thinking skills, or at least build their critical thinking skills, learn to use communication more effectively. There's many reasons you would want students to participate in a discussion. The challenge is that sometimes it's difficult to see if students are actually participating and if they are adding anything meaningful to the conversation, things with real substance. However, Canvas has a discussion tool that allows for digital discussions where you can see and read student responses to topics. And that's what we're going to learn about today. So let's jump in. I'm going to introduce you to the discussion tool. We'll discuss a bit about the editor and the options within discussions, and we will finish with looking at some examples of how to get students started with discussions. So here I am in my Canvas starter course, and in my course navigation, the fourth link down is discussions. The first thing I want to call your attention to is not this big purple button, but the button right next to it, the settings. Something you may want to take a look at, your student settings. Do you want to allow for students to create their own discussion topics, to edit and delete their own posts and attach files? Take a look at this and enable and disable as you would like. Okay, now let's start a new discussion. This should look pretty familiar to you. Again, your topic title, your text box with your rich text editor. You can add the video, the links, all the fancy stuff. You can also add links from your sidebar or files or images. So I'm just going to throw something in there. All right, there you go. Some text. And then, of course, I would add a question or see if folks would like to continue adding on to this list of tips. So scrolling down, you'll see that I can choose who I'd like to post to, certain courses, certain groups, or certain sections within my course. Choose a file. Now, by default, this discussion will only allow for one comment. So it's a focused discussion. So an example of a focused discussion would be something like you ask students how their summer went and you expect just one response, or how the week's work went and you expect one response. Now, if you would like an actual discussion and ongoing participation, an infinite amount of posts, then you would click on this box right here, allow threaded replies. So now the students can respond to each other and actually have some meaningful discussion. Now, if you would like for the student to formulate their thoughts independent of other students, you would have them post before seeing replies. You can also enable podcast feed. You can choose whether this is going to be graded or ungraded. You can allow for liking, kind of like Facebook. It's actually pretty cool. Only graders can like, or you can sort by likes. You can also choose to have this added to the student to-do list. So when they log in, they'll see it on the sidebar. You can create a topic and then post it to different groups. So one topic, and then you can have discussions within small groups within your class. And here's where you would create these groups. You can also have students sign up for different topics. You can have it automatically split students into different groups or create your groups manually. Choose the date that it is available to and from. And that's pretty much it. Some ideas for discussions. You can have students debate the pros and cons of an issue. You can have them share and iterate on ideas that they might have in class. Or you can just facilitate a discussion around a topic. So many reasons. But the one thing you need to keep in mind is that you should create parameters for discussions. And I'm going to show you an example of something I found in the comments. So while digging through the comments, I found this, a discussion guidelines and practice. I'm going to post it in your discussion so you can take a look. And it just really has some good examples of guidelines that you could build into discussions. Basic ones like be appropriate and respectful, provide unique and quality responses, give honest and constructive feedback. And then this person goes on to give a screenshot of the page on how to provide unique and substantial responses, which I think is really great. Some good discussion questions, some discussion sentence starters. Ooh. Supporting ideas with evidence and examples. Now, this is a way to really foster and build in the ability to communicate effectively with students. Paraphrasing, building on and challenging, elaborating and clarifying. I mean, this is beautiful, y'all. Beautiful. I will post this for y'all to see. Let's take a look at another example. I thought this was adorable. It's a great way to use a GIF, but also what the teacher is asking of the students. She or he would like to know the biggest concern they have about fractions. What is causing them to struggle? I think this is a good way to get students reflecting on what they have learned in a discussion. And then right down here, just some guidelines, right? Disrespectful comment will result in a 5-point decrease. All right, so I will be posting those for you to take a look at in the discussions, and that's all I got for you. See you in a few videos.